And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good morning and welcome to the market forecast this morning, Wednesday, September 15th, middle of September. I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. As usual, we're going to be looking at context, risk management, and infinite patience, hopefully. As far as economic numbers this morning, we've already seen the Empire State Manufacturing Index come out much better than expected. That's I'm thinking, good news. We also had the import-export prices, as far as the trade balance is concerned, dropping by $13.8 billion, just about what expected, but still probably some good news there. 8:15 during the forecast here. We're waiting for industrial production. We'll see how the markets respond to that. And 9:30 a.m. this morning, as usual on Wednesdays, the EIA Petroleum Status Report. As far as things that are going on, stock indexes looking to open pretty much steady as we await industrial production. The Chinese economy has been slowing and showing signs of slowing as retail sales fall to 2.5% on the year, far lower than expected, followed by slowing industrial production. So the Chinese economy and markets certainly showing a little bit of stress there. European natural gas prices continue to ratchet higher. Gasoline prices in Europe now equivalent to $150 per barrel for crude oil. Crude oil prices domestically continue higher on a larger draw announced by the API last night. They were expecting a 3.9 million barrel draw. They actually came out with a 5.2 million barrel draw. Of course, we're still waiting for that information from the EIA, which is expecting a draw of 3.5 million barrels. Make sure that you, as always, smash that lucky like button. Share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling are always welcome. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And taking a brief look at the VIX this morning, it's actually lower than it closed yesterday, but keeps creeping higher. 19.42, dollar index 92.5, and the yield on the 10-year 1.28%. Gotta say good morning to everybody. We had George first in the room today. You win the prize. Theo, good morning. Ryan, Bill, Brian, Brett, Tone, Michael, Murph, good morning. Zoraine, Vince, I don't know. Do I look different this morning? I don't know. And I'm wondering how you could see that before we were even on. We've got a Vince C. Bear flag we're looking at in gold here this morning. We'll see that shortly. Charles March, good morning. And there go my charts. I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll get through it. Morning video looks broken. Hopefully things are going well now. Let me know if you're having trouble seeing or hearing anything. Good morning, Jim, James, Mikkel. Y'all going to the QA at 3 p.m. today? Yeah, the screen was messed up, huh? Well, hopefully it's all right now. Thanks for letting me know. It's working now. Okay, good. Yeah, 3 p.m. today. Founder Michael Patak and our good friend Dan Hodgman will be doing a Q&A session at 3 o'clock today. Make sure you look into getting into that, of course. Spencer, good morning. Good morning, Greg. Spencer up over 1,000 in his trading combine this morning. That's good news. Cam, good morning. Keith, dead letter opener. Hey, I know you. Your name's Michael. Ha ha. Rob T. Stephen Lee. Andres, Trading Research, good morning. Nelson, good morning. Robert, Khalid, Spencer, can you see and hear? Good. Coop, all right, good morning to you, and good morning to you, Chris. If this is your first trip, maybe a couple of new names there. Welcome to the Market Forecast. We're glad you're here, and we're hoping to help. Gonna put the link in right there for Futures 201 today. We're gonna be talking about some personality traits that may be detrimental to futures trading. We all have them. We're gonna take a brief look through them today at 12:30, and then at 1 o'clock we've got group coaching, which is any questions, all questions welcome. I've got a good question from Fred Decker from last Friday in the crude oil market. As always, Fred always comes up with some really good questions and some important questions at that. And then let me see. I don't have the link for the 3 o'clock session, which is kind of a shame, but look it up on the website, look it up on YouTube. You'll be able to get in there and ask your questions of our wonderful founder and chief visionary officer, Michael Patak, as well as Dan Hodgman. Again, that's at 3 o'clock. So no recap, but you'll have the opportunity to talk to the owner, talk to the founder of Top Step. All right, so we've taken care of that business. Buenos Wednesday, Jason. And I've got a little bit of a hiccup going on here. I'm been losing my charts this morning. This is a problem that has happened from time to time, and I do apologize about that, but I'm going to bring them up, and we will get through this forecast. I assure you. Let me bring this up. I don't know why. This just seems to happen from time to time, and we will work our way through it. I thought I had it all sewn up, and apparently I did not. But it should be up here shortly. Let's take a look, as always, starting with the daily in crude oil. So we've got a pretty significant breakout to the upside going on here this morning. 70.60 weekly kickoff high yesterday. We wrestled with it. 70.65 our overnight low last night. Now we've got a substantial breakout above this trend line here. There's plenty of space for this to continue to move. As a matter of fact, when we were talking last week about a potential inverted head and shoulders, a breakout above this could bring, actually, when we take a look at the neckline here, which is this blue line, to the top of the bottom of the head. This is an inverted head and shoulders. Once the breakout occurs, which we were really kind of looking at the breakout above the neckline, which occurred on Monday, we had a little bit of technical difficulty getting through this level, but if we're to take the distance from the neckline to the top or the bottom of the head in this case to where the breakout occurs, that puts crude oil up around $77 a barrel. We certainly have the space for it to get up to at least $73 without really running into any technical difficulties. Here's the trend line that we just broke out through. I do not want to sell this market. I'm going to be looking for opportunities to buy weakness, if even given that opportunity. Taking a look at the 30-minute isn't going to help us too much, other than the fact that our overnight was pretty close to that weekly kickoff low. We've got plenty of overnight longs in this market, but what are they finding so far in regular trading hours? They're finding new business. They're finding buyers to come in and continue to push this market higher. Technically, this market could go a lot higher. So all of our overnight longs that are holding those weaker hands positions are getting paid, and they're happy about this right now. This is happening during rollover. This is a little bit uncommon, but it does happen. Tomorrow we should be looking at the November contract. Today we're still in October, Tomorrow we'll be looking at the November contract. So this is certainly something that we need to pay attention to. When things don't happen during rollover with very often, it really means something. It really means something. Okay, we're still seeing the charts. So one of the rules is you do not try and pick tops in directional markets without some sort of structure. Try not to do that in crude this morning. The E-mini S&Ps, all right, we still got our charts. Price is kind of approaching an inflection level of the weekly kickoff low, which is 44.21. It's been 2 days. It's been a couple of days trying to get down to that level. Now, there's evidence here in these whole moving averages that the downside momentum is beginning to fall off, which would make sense nearing a longer-term inflection level like the weekly kickoff level. What I'd like to point out right now in the daily chart is how this market has been paying attention to and heeding the 50-session exponential moving average on the daily chart. Every time the market has come to approach it, come to it, come through it, come near it, buyers have come in and brought this market back to the upside structure that it is still in. 44.21 and this 50-session moving average. There goes the charts. Hang on one second. I'll have them up for us. This is so aggravating, and I don't know why it happens. Just from time to time, it just seems to like to mess with us. And there we go. So now we're back. All right, where were we? Evidence in the whole moving averages that momentum to the downside is beginning to slow. We're seeing a drop in 11,000 in open interest on this move to the downside. It's still possibly rollover related. Rollover is still on and going to blur our information a little bit. We should be back on now, ladies and gentlemen, with the screen. And so we're, looking at a potential area where we might start to look for opportunities to buy weakness because we're seeing a little bit of slowing in momentum. We're near important inflection levels. We're not sure where that's going to happen, but the short time frame downside structure remains intact. So be cautious with your opportunities here. Here's our basically one time framing lower for 3, 4, 5 sessions, lower highs, lower lows. Our low yesterday near this important inflection level of 44.21, the weekly kickoff low. What do we have as far as information in short time frame? We don't have any real overnight inventory. Settlement is right here, 44.34.70, so no real momentum like we saw in crude oil. All of our overnight activity was pushing price to the upside and continuing to get pushed to the upside. Here in the S&Ps, we've basically spent the entire night inside value from yesterday with no overnight inventory. I'll be patient waiting for information as the day goes on. We're going to try and keep an eye out for the industrial production number, which comes out at 8:15, which could seriously change things before the open. But because there's no overnight inventory and because we're in value from yesterday, I'm going to be trying to stay patient into the open this morning because, again, very little change in the perception of value. That could change here in about 1 minute here. Oh, here we go. Here we are. Let's see what the industrial production numbers look like. Not up here yet. Not up here yet. Not up here yet. Well, we'll go back and take a look at those here shortly. Just to finish up with the S&Ps, no real change in perception of value. stay patient, look for opportunities as the day goes on. Overnight, high and low, inside value high up here. Last week's last week's low, potentially resistant as it was last night. All right. Take a look now into the Nasdaq. Feel like I'm trying to hurry because of these darn charts. We don't want to do that. Okay. So the Nasdaq has had a close below the weekly kickoff low. Now this weekly kickoff low is similar to a level that we had in the S&Ps, but a couple of weeks ago, the Nasdaq has actually been holding up much better than the S&Ps as far as the maintenance of the upside structure. This is the 50 session moving average. We're approaching that in the S&Ps. We're nowhere near it so far in the Nasdaq. So we're still going to be wrestling with this weekly kickoff low here, which is 15,419, currently below it, but we're starting. There goes the charts again. Hang on one second. God, this is so aggravating. We've gone like 2 months without having this problem, and now all of a sudden it's back. So here's the charts again. We'll get these back up here. So what was I saying? So yeah, the 50 session moving average, exponential moving average, is considerably lower. This is where weekly kickoff level is in the S&Ps now. This was a prior level, if we were to relate it to the S&Ps, that we've since been through. So the Nasdaq is holding up better than the S&Ps. We added 10,000 in open interest yesterday, but again, a lot of that is driven by rollover, which will be over on Friday, which is quadruple witching day. Our whole moving averages, if you can see right here, are showing, again, these are the whole moving averages. They're showing potential slowing of downside momentum. Okay, we're holding price above those levels right now, and that's a sign that things may be changing a little bit as far as direction is concerned. But again, we have downside short time frame structure remaining to the downside. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. So look at the magnetism of our weekly kickoff low here. We looked below it yesterday. We closed above it. We had range all over it yesterday. Looking at the overnight session, just kind of hanging between the weekly kickoff level and settlement, which, by the way, yesterday was 15,379.75. And just kind of rotating. Do we have any overnight inventory? If we do, perhaps it's to the long side. We're going to be looking probably at weekly kickoff low here, 15,419, as somewhat pivotal, if not magnetic. We're going to see if we see what's going on here. Okay, industrial production, 5.95%. There was a revision to last month's, which was 6.56. It's now 6.65. So industrial production off just a little bit. We'll see how these markets respond to it over time. So again, no real overnight inventory, inside range and value. Try and stay patient. Be careful using this weekly kickoff level as a pivot level. In other words, long above, short below. If it should become magnetic, which they sometimes do, that can get us chopped up pretty quickly. So be careful there. I'll be looking to be patient, waiting for better trade locations as the day goes on. Gold. Here we have the rejection of last week's low yesterday, pretty close to weekly kickoff low. The market takes us right back up into this 1807 to 1809 zone that has been supportive and is now resistant. Brings us a pretty decent opportunity, as a matter of fact, this morning, and it happens to be right along the upper trend line of the Vince C bear flag. So this 1807, 1809 zone is going to be somewhat pivotal for us this morning, as it already has been. This is the Vince C bear flag. We see market pulling lower, smaller ranges, somewhat of an upside turn to it. We looked down below it yesterday, but when we rejected below it, we went right to the upper extreme of the Vince C bear flag. So what's the next opportunity? What's the next thought to try and get down to? Would be the bottom channel of the Vince C bear flag. Very emotional day yesterday when we opened and we could not break out above this zone up here, say 1807 to 1809, mentioning several times that that's been an important level recently, and there goes the charts. Don't know what I did different today, but apparently it's something because we keep losing the charts. And we're almost done. So the ping-ponging between these channels seems to be continuing. We failed up at our important inflection level. Pretty decent opportunity off that level. Looking for a target down near probably this volume point of control. And this trend line looks like a pretty good visual for a potential exit for shorts from that important inflection level up higher there at 1807 to 1809. The euro. Let's get through these. Last week's low it seems to be remaining somewhat pivotal. We looked below it 2 days ago. It was the low yesterday. It's the low last night. Rollover range remains. Remember, we are still in rollover in our currencies. Short time frame control is certainly there. Yesterday, very little change in open interest. We lost about 100 contracts in open interest, even during rollover. Come on. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. We had some overnight longs. We've seen those overnight longs since the open reconcile those longs right back to settlement. Looks like almost to the tick. Now we're finding some range-bound opportunity, some range-bound activity. Overnight low, overnight high. Yesterday's session low and settlement, certainly an opportunity for us to look for an opportunity today. Mikhail, I need a top step shirt, and there goes the charts. Oh my goodness, that's just not good. So we open in range and value. We took out the overnight inventory, not looking at big opportunities unless something seriously changes here today. And as for the 10-year, still short time frame controlled. We're still bouncing down the sidewalk here. Open interest is a little bit encouraging. We added 32,000 yesterday on a close pretty much right on this trend line here. We're still wrestling with that trend line. It's going to be somewhat pivotal for us today. That potential breakout, is it going to attract business? I think we're still stuck in short time frame land here for a little while. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Pretty decent upside move yesterday. Where that came from, who knows? I think it was the economic number that came out yesterday morning. What was that? CPI was where that spike came from, but it didn't change the fact that we're largely range bound and in short time frame control. Look at settlement last night. Settlement is 133.19 and a half ticks. No overnight inventory, the market opening in range and in value. Look for opportunities as the day goes on. Value low, value high could be a good start for that because, again, our real goal here as traders is to try and continue to manage risk. We're looking to manage risk. It's all about risk. All right? So, I'm not going to lose the charts again this time. And there go the charts. All right. Hopefully some good information for you there. I know it kind of breaks things up, breaks my concentration. Hopefully it doesn't break your concentration too much when we have to go back and restart the charts. I'll be looking into that again. I'm going to find a way to make sure that does not keep happening. Just, whenever I seem to get it sealed up and taken care of, it just seems to creep back at us again. I think there may be a gremlin around here. I'm going to see if I can find him today. And so we don't have this problem moving forward. And there go the charts. All right. Let's take our deep breath. I hope that you do this. It always cleanses me, always makes me feel good and calms me down for the trading day. Stay humble, grateful, and creative in your trading today. Looking forward to seeing you at Futures Trading 201 and in the group coaching session. And also, we'll be glad to see you at the 3 o'clock Q&A session with Michael Patak. Okay, we're looking forward to your success. So get out there and profit. Trade well today. We got a couple of minutes here before the equities. Looks like we succeeded in getting done before that. I'll see you in the pit in a few minutes. Trade well today.